It's safe to say a lot of simmers have had their eye on Paralives, but unfortunately we haven't had any information about live mode. The build buy mode and the create para mode came first in development. I guess it's obviously a lot easier than doing actual gameplay than to just design those things first, so it makes sense. But I know a lot of people have been saying, where's live mode, where's live mode, I want to see live mode, which is fair enough. Like, people don't want to invest in this game, at least emotionally, before financially, and get excited about it without actually seeing what the live mode could be like, because as we've seen in the past with many different video games, a game that looks nice is not necessarily a good game. The most important thing is always the gameplay itself. Of course, the create para mode and the build buy mode look amazing in Paralives. We haven't had much in live mode so far. The first mini feature we got was like a 20-second clip showing the action queue. As you can see, they click to do certain interactions and then it appears in their queue. One really interesting thing is that you can reorder it, which is incredible because that's not something that we can do in The Sims 4. I don't really know if it's something that's really going to be possible. Obviously, we are going to have to wait and see if that comes out in the final game, but if it did, I would be very impressed. The next feature for live mode, again, is toilets, where they were showing off different censoring options. They all just show, one of them shows one of the powers standing over a toilet, the other one sitting on a toilet, and showing what they look like nude, which is kind of funny. Yesterday, we finally got a proper look at live mode, where they were looking at different actions that we can do for the powers. As you can see, this guy is using the phone. The cool thing is you can actually see an option called search, where you can actually search for different options for the powers to do. I know one of the biggest criticisms of The Sims 4 is that the menu is often very, very difficult and it's really, really tough to look. So I think it's really, really cool that there's actually an option to search, especially if they give us a lot of different options. Also, they showed off the pinned feature. There was literally so much, guys, where pinning works on any object, which means that if you right click it, it will automatically do the pin thing associated with that object. So in comparison, for example, in The Sims 4, if you click on a sofa, it normally comes up with two main options, sit or nap. If you're the kind of person who just sits on a sofa 90% of the time, you can pin that and then right click the sofa and it just happens in Paralives. I think that's honestly such an innovative feature. I never would have thought of that, and I honestly think it's amazing that they've actually thought that through. I know it's incredibly easy to make so many comparisons between The Sims 4 and Paralives, and I really, really don't want to do it. I'm really trying not to and just trying to see it as a separate entity. And as a separate entity, I love the way live mode looks in terms of interactions. Obviously, in some ways, it does look a little bit clunky. For example, when you get the power to move, it does move in a little bit of a clunky way. Obviously, it's an indie game, so what can you expect? But from what I can see, the innovation that's coming with the gameplay so far is incredible, and we've only just seen a couple of features. In the top right, we do also see some kind of UI with a camera, with a play button, with a heart, with a music note in it, a log. So there seems to be a lot going on, guys. I'm really excited. I think in general, by the way, the UI looks very clean. I'm really excited to see how this game develops. But of course, it is not The Sims 4. I have done a whole video essay on why I think we need to stop comparing Paralives to The Sims 4 and look at it as a separate entity. So make sure you check that video out for more information that we know about the game. See you in the next one.